Hello everyone. Let's start with extant primates, distribution, characteristic, and classification. So extant is the opposite of extinct. Extinct means something that does not exist anymore. So its opposite will be something that is existing in present time. In other words, primates mean living primates, and we are studying the distribution, characteristic, and classification of living primates. And primates belong to the animal kingdom, and it is an order under mammals, which includes monkeys, apes, humans, lemurs, tarsiers, galagos, and there are certain features that distinguish themselves from mammals. These features are they have stereoscopic vision, they have forward-facing eyes, and they have prehensile hands and feet for grasping. They have opposable big toe, and they have big brains that can solve problems. They have elongated parental care. They have social behavior, cooperative behavior. So, because of all these features, primates are studied because humans are also primates. So, by studying primates, scientists can learn more about how humans came to be. Then, traditionally, historically, primates have been divided into two major suborders. First, Prosimii, the primitive primates. So the group Prosimii or Prosimii, it includes oldest type of primates like lemurs, lorises, and tarsiers. And people call them lower or primitive primates, but it doesn't mean they are less important or they have less developed. It means that they have certain primitive characteristic that primitive features that they derive from early mammals, which features that are still resemble with the early mammals, such as strong sense of smell, smaller brains, and nocturnality, means being active at night. So even though they are different from monkeys and apes, they have many features that make them adaptive to their own environment, such as the arboreal lifestyle, and then they have dental combs for grooming. They have grooming claws. They have large eyes that help them see in the darkness of night. And yeah, their brains are simple than monkeys and apes. Then this group, it includes lemurs, which are situated in Madagascar, lorises and galagos, that are situated in Africa and Asia respectively, and then tarsier of Southeast Asia. And yeah, even though prosimians, they are called primitive, but अभी आपको समझाया, they do not become the direct ancestor of monkeys, apes, and humans. It means that prosimians and other primates, including monkeys, apes, and humans, we shared a common ancestor that lived a long time ago. So after that split, prosimian they went into a different line, into a different direction, and we hominoids, we evolved in a different line. So this is a classic example of divergent evolution. A common ancestor say diverge होके two species they are evolving separately. That's what divergent evolution is. So that means prosimians were the first, one of the first branches to split off from this common ancestor, जो भी यहाँ पे common ancestor था, uh, just after mammals, because uh, the primate order it belongs to mammals, so most of the characteristics are derived from mammals, and we have diverged from this lineage. So um, as that prosimians first branches to split off from this common ancestor, and then over millions of years they follow their own unique path of evolution. And this, because of this unique path, because of this divergent evolution, they have certain characteristics. They have developed certain characteristics, such as they are very good at living in trees, they're very good at moving at night, nocturnality, and they have strong sense of smell. And some have dental combs, which are for grooming. They have large eyes that can see in the dark, and they have grooming claws to clean themselves. And again, so even if we use the word primitive, it doesn't mean they are less evolved. It just means they are differently evolved, and they are not the ancestor of monkeys, or apes, or humans. But yes, they are relatives that split off early and follow their own unique evolutionary path. Now, the second traditional group is Anthropoidea, that includes the advanced primates. So, the suborder Anthropoidea, also known as semiformers, it includes monkeys, apes, and humans. Or advanced word used here, it doesn't mean they are better than they are better than Prosimii. It it just means that they have evolved different and more complex features over time. Now, those complex features, such as bigger brains, so Anthropoidae, they have larger and more developed brains compared to prosimians, and they have better vision because Anthropoidae or anthropoids, they started relying more on sight than smell. Because of this, the snout reduced, or so the anthropoids, they shifted to diurnal lifestyle. Now, third feature, smaller snout, because they don't rely as much as on the sense of smell. So their noses, the snout, it is smaller because of their reliance on vision or sight more than the smell. Then more social behavior. So this is another feature that distinguishes us from prosimians. We the anthropoids, we started living in larger and more organized social group or more complex social grouping. Then the next feature, longer childhood and stronger parenting. So younger anthropoids, they stay with their mothers or families for longer time. And then mostly diurnal, जो भी आपको बताया, that most of the anthropoids, they are diurnal as opposite to the prosimians who are not nocturnal. And over time, these traits, they help anthropoids adapt to a wide range of environment from tropical forest to grassland. And studying anthropoids is give us a deeper understanding of how our own species evolved, क्योंकि हम भी anthropoids का ही part. Then anthropoids, they are further classified into platyrrhines and catarrhines. Platyrrhines, the New World monkeys like capuchin polars situated in Central and South America, and catarrhines, known as Old World monkeys and apes like baboons, chimpanzees, and humans in the rest of the world. Now, the revised classification in modern taxonomy. So, this Prosimii or Anthropoidea dichotomy, this classification is traditional and historical, but modern evolutionary biology and molecular genetics, they have updated its framework, and now the revised classification, it includes Strepsirrhini, that includes Lemur, Lorisoidea, and Galagos. Strepsirrhini, it means wet-nosed because they have moist rhinarium. Rhinarium stands for nose or snout. So this wet nose is suggests that they have strong sense of smell and a more primitive brain structure. And then they are Haplorhini, which means dry rhinarium or dry nose. So this includes tarsiers, monkeys, apes, and humans. And we have dry noses, large brains, and stronger reliance on vision. And finally, tarsiers, which were traditionally with the prosimians, they are now placed under Haplorhini due to their closer genetic and neurological affinities. Now, this first subclassification under Strepsirrhini is the Lemuroidea, that includes lemurs and their alleles. First distribution, lemurs, they are endemic to Madagascar. And Madagascar is an isolated island नियर अफ्रीका. अगर मैप देखा हो तो मैप में ये अफ्रीका का स्ट्रक्चर है, ये हॉर्न ऑफ अफ्रीका है. यहाँ पे इस ट्रफ के साइड में इन दिस वाटर बॉडी आपको एक आइलैंड फ्लोटिंग नजर आएगा. दिस आइसोलेटेड आइलैंड इज मेडागास्कर. So the isolation in Madagascar, because it has remained biologically separated from African mainland for millions of years, this separation or isolation allowed lemurs to evolve in a relatively predator-free or competitor-free environment. So this is a textbook case of a classic case of adaptive radiation because of this isolation, lemurs, they adapted or they evolved into the, you can say, diverse, most diverse primate group on this planet. So ये adaptive radiation आप जैसे तो इससे पहले जो यूजीसी के जो वीडियोस रिकॉर्ड किए थे उसमें बताया था that adaptive radiation is when a population is isolated, a small population is isolated because of many uh, any geographical barrier. तो उसकी वजह से that small group it evolved into a separate species. तो यही लेमूर्स के साथ भी हुआ कि वहाँ पे मेडागास्कर के अंदर फर्स्ट because of their geographical isolation from the whole world, and then मेडागास्कर में भी different small groups they found their own niche, और उस adaptive niche की वजह से this major group it evolved into these many different subspecies. Now the example was ringtail lemur, which are known for their distinctive black and white ringtail, and they are diurnal, terrestrial, and highly social. And the second such subspecies is II, nocturnal lemur with rodent-like incisors and elongated middle finger. And next one, Indri and Sifaka, which are large-bodied, vertical clinger and leapers, and known for their powerful hind legs. And next comes mouse lemur, among the smallest primates in the world, and primarily nocturnal solitary. तो ये आप देख सकते हैं कि ये लेमूर स्पीशीज एक छोटे से आइलैंड पे अडेप्टिव रेडिएशन की वजह से कितनी डाइवर्स हुई है. Now the morphological and behavioral feature. First, they have dental comb. So they have a specialized grooming apparatus called dental comb that is formed by elongated and forward protruding lower incisors. तो जो आगे वाले जो दांत है incisors that is used for cutting, वो अगर if they are protruded means थोड़े से बाहर निकले हुए हैं. Same thing, it can be used as a comb, dental comb. So this is structure used for grooming and feeding. Then they have rhinarium, means nose. So they have a moist and fleshy nose. So since lemurs are placed under Strepsirrhini, it shows they rely more on olfaction. Olfactory means having snout and relying more on smell. So this rhinarium, it is a hallmark of Strepsirrhini lineage. Then vision, so they have large forward-facing eyes. So forward-facing eyes, it is a unique characteristic of all the primates. And this forward placement, it helps in stereoscopic vision, in depth perception because of overlapping vision. And they are mostly nocturnal. Then as of locomotion, so the primary mode of locomotion of movement, it includes arboreal quadrupedalism, leaping, vertical clinging, and leaping. So arboreal quadrupedalism, it means to leap from one branch or one canopy to another on all four, jumping from one tree to another in all four. It is known as arboreal quadrupedalism. Arboreal means tree lifestyle, tree-based lifestyle. And as a ecological rule, lemurs are vital for seed dispersal, pollination, and maintaining the balance of forest ecosystem. Now the behavioral diversity. So lemurs exhibit a broad range of social organization. जैसे जो आई है, they are solitary, but जो ringtail lemurs हैं, they are highly social and they live in female-dominated groups. And then their reproductive behavior, territoriality, communication, through vocalization and scent, and seasonal breeding pattern, all of them, they become important case study for evolution of primate behavior. And as such, जो लेमूर्स का जो सोशल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, मोस्टली जो आपको याद रखने के लिए है दैट आई दे आर सॉलिटरी ringtail lemurs, they live in a female dominated group, and then there are common things such as this vocalization means to mark your territory by howling, by large sound, large vocal sounds. Now the anthropological significance. So first, the study of lemurs, it provides a classic example of island biogeography that illustrate how species evolve and diversify when isolated from continental fauna. क्योंकि मेडागास्कर जो है that is already an isolated island, और उसमें how this particular species would have evolved and how that species evolved, diversified into multiple subspecies is a case in a point. And as of comparative anatomy, their unique adaptations into different niche. It offers a contrast point for comparing features that later evolved in monkeys, apes, and humans because their adaptation or their evolution it was in isolation. So जो भी उनके features हैं, uh, all of them, they were later evolved in hominoids or anthropoids. Then behavioral ecology, so the diversity of the social system in lemurs that range from female-dominated hierarchy in ring-tailed lemur to solitary ii. It helped anthropologists to understand alternative evolutionary paths. Now let's talk about Lorisoidea, lorises, and galagos. So the Lorisoidea superfamily it includes two groups. First the lorises and the galagos, also known as bush babies, and both are bound by a common evolutionary heritage, and they are classified under the suborder Prosimii under Strepsirrhini in modern taxonomy, and Prosimii in traditional taxonomy, and they have some ancestral primate traits such as strong olfaction, nocturnality, and specialized grooming adaptation. तो अभी तक जो सेकंड आप सब जो सुपर फैमिली पढ़ रहे हैं में आपको समझ में आ गया होगा जो प्रोसीमियाई है that is comparable to Strepsirrhini in modern taxonomy. They stand for certain feature like more reliance on smell, nocturnality, and grooming adaptation. So because of these three common traits, such groups are placed as such. Now, as of distribution, so lorises they are found predominantly in South and Southeast Asia that include India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia. Galagos they are native to sub-Saharan Africa. So this by geographical split between Africa and Asia, it makes Lorisoideae important for studying continental divergence and ecological pressure that shaped early primate evolution. Because you can see that both these species, even if they are clubbed together under Strepsirrhini, both are in different continents. So it also highlight the fact that around 66 million years ago, when during the KPG extinction events, most of the known non-avian dinosaurs were wiped out, went into extinction. और उसकी वजह से जो mammals हैं, mammalian species हैं, they came to the forefront. They found their own adaptive niches. अब उन्हीं mammal species में उसी order में से there were many variations, many uh, primitive primates that evolved into Strepsirrhini and Haplorhini. अब ये जो यहाँ से जो divergence and evolution है, it was also a result of continental divergence because it was the same time जब जो गोंडवाना है एंड अंगारा लैंड है टू मेजर कॉन्टिनेंट उस टाइम के दे वर ऑल्सो स्प्लिटिंग अपार्ट और इसी स्प्लिटिंग की वजह से हर कॉन्टिनेंट पे जो लोकल फ्लोरा एंड फौना था जो था इट स्टार्टेड ड्रिफ्टिंग अवे इन डिफरेंट डायरेक्शन तो उसी वजह से ये कॉन्टिनेंटल डाइवर्जेंस जो पॉइंट यहाँ पे हाईलाइट किया गया है इट शोज कि दो सेम दो स्पीशीज with similar features, how can they exist in totally different continents? So ये suggest करता है कि both of these species they might have been together in the deep past, और फिर continental divergence की वजह से they might have split away, they might have diverged. Now the key examples: first, slow loris that are found in Southeast Asia, and it's the slow loris is known for its deliberate and sloth-like movement, very slow movement that aids in camouflage and predator evasion. And the slow locomotion it is supported by a strong grip and a flexible body. Then the Bengal slow loris it is native to northeast India. Then second, bush baby or galagos. So this species it is native to African woodlands and savanna, and they are highly agile, known for their incredible leaping abilities. They can jump many times their body length with precision. Now the salient morphological and behavioral feature. First, क्योंकि यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं वन स्लो लॉरीज है, दे आर वेरी स्लो, वेयर एज बुश बेबी दे आर वेरी एजाइल. सो लोकोमोशन में कॉन्ट्रास्ट है, बट अदर देन दैट they have some common features. First, vision and nocturnality. So both groups they possess large forward-facing eyes, a characteristic of primate, which enhance depth perception and enable them to see well in the darkness. And they have a reflective layer behind the retina, which is called tapetum lucidum. तो इस रिफ्लेक्टिव लेयर की वजह से, टेपिटम लूसिडम की वजह से, they can see during the night. And this feature, this reflective layer, it is absent in other diurnal higher primates. हमारे अंदर भी नहीं है. And as of grooming adaptation, so like other Strepsirrhini, they have grooming claw on the second toe and a tooth comb. Then dentition, both of them they retain a primitive dental formula 2133, two incisor, one canine, three premolar, three molars, and a characteristic that is closer to ancestral mammals. तो यहाँ पे जो placement है, जो बार बार इनको primitive कह रहे हैं, it is because they have close proximity to mammals than higher primates. Then as of diet, they are insectivorous, means they eat insects, and they are frugivorous, means they feed on leaf foliage such as tree sap, insects, fruits, and even small invertebrates. And as of locomotion and movement, lorises they move with slow and creeping gait, gripping branches tightly with both hands and feet. So this stealthy movement it helps them avoid detection by predators. Whereas galagos, in contrast, they are energetic and agile leaper, and they jump from one branch to another with great speed and accuracy. Now, unique ecological adaptations. So, stealth and silence. Lorises, because of the sloth movement, they are master of stealth. Means they cannot be detected easily. They are master of camouflage. So their slow and silent movement, it is an evolutionary response to avoid detection. Now, the second ecological adaptation is about chemical defense. So, a remarkable feature of some loris species is to produce venomous saliva, which they mix with secretion from the elbow gland. So, they use this toxic saliva for defense, and this uh, trait it is not usually seen in other mammals. Then, the social behavior. While lorises they are solitary foragers, galagos they show high degree of social interaction. Then in their communication, they have vocalization that includes chirps, squeaks, and whistles. Now, anthropological and evolutionary significance. First, primate locomotor evolution. So these two species they demonstrate two contrasting style of locomotion. First, slow quadrupedalism, lorises versus agile leaping in galagos. So studying them, it helped anthropologists to trace how environmental pressure shaped early primate mobility. And as of century evolution, so they enhance olfaction and nocturnal vision. It illustrates early sensory adaptation. And as of comparative anatomy, the retention of primitive dental and cranial features, which provides a baseline for evolutionary comparison. Now let's move to next superfamily, Tarsioidea. Tarsiers are small, shy, and elusive, and they exhibit traits that align both with primitive prosimians and advanced anthropoids. As of geographical distribution, they are endemic to Southeast Asia. Endemic means they were born here and they lived here. And their range, the habitat, it ranges from Philippines, part of Borneo, Sumatra, and the island of Sulawesi in Indonesia. And because of their fragmented habitat, आप देख सकते हैं, तो this fragmentation की वजह से they are classic case of island specific speciation which resulted in several localized subspecies. तो जैसे जो एग्जाम्पल लिया था about Madagascar, that it is an isolated island and provides a classic case study of divergent evolution. Here you can see another case of divergent evolution, that is island specific speciation or localized speciation. क्योंकि इनका जो हैबिटाट है इट इज फ्रेगमेंटेड, तो अलग अलग हैबिटाट पे जो जो सब स्पीशीज रह रही है दे evolve on their own. Now the representative species. So among the various species, the Philippine tarsier is most widely studied and globally recognized. So it is also the flag species for conservation efforts in Philippines. It has large eyes, grasping fingers, and tiny body. Other includes Western tarsier in Borneo and spectral tarsier in Sulawesi. Now, morphological and sensory features. So since they are placed in Strepsirrhini, they possess highly specialized anatomy, which is suitable for arboreal and nocturnal lifestyle. First, as of vision and eyes, they have enormous eyes, forward placed, and each eye is larger than any animal's brain. So, this trait has been evolved to maximize light intake for nocturnal vision. So, nocturnality, another primitive features. And then they lack a tapetum lucidum, जो reflective layer आपको बताई थी रेटिना पे, especially to see in the darkness. So this reflective layer is found in other nocturnal strepsirrhini, which is absent, and instead they rely on large eye size and high rod density for night vision. And the next unique feature that their eyes are immobile; they cannot rotate their eye. But to compensate, tarsier can rotate their heads nearly 180 degree, which is a rare ability in primates. As of limb and skeletal adaptation, they have elongated tarsal bones. Tarsal bone in the ankle, in the feet. So, because of their large feet, large ankle bones, they can spring easily. They can jump from one tree branch to another. So, this large or elongated tarsal bone, it provides them an exceptional ability to leap between branches, and they can leap up to 40 times their own body length. Then their fingers and toe are long and slender with disc-like pads for gripping smooth surfaces. As of dentition and grooming, the tarsier, they have grooming claws, a feature of strepsirrhines, and they do not have a dental comb, so which sets them apart from other strepsirrhines such as lemurs and lorises. And their dental formula is also diverse, slightly derived. जैसे दूसरे जो स्ट्रेप्सिराइन है उनमें हमने देखा है 2123 है 2133, बट इनके जो अपर जॉ है इट इज 2133 and the lower jaw it is 1133. Now behavior on ecology, so they are strictly nocturnal and insectivorous, means they live during the night and they eat insects. Then they rely on ambush predation, which means they sit tightly and then leap rapidly to catch insects and small vertebrates. They also consume small birds, lizards, snake, which shows a carnivorous tendency. And as of social organization, they are usually solitary or may live in small family groups. And finally, their vocalization, including chirps and whistles, it play a crucial role in territorial defense and mate attraction. Territorial defense means they mark their territory by their vocal calls, and this vocalization it also attract mates, or it also help them finding mates. Now, as of taxonomic placement and evolutionary significance, so historically tarsiers they were grouped with Prosimii or other strepsirrhini, but this redefined view they are placed under Haplorhini alongside monkeys, apes, and humans. So the reason that unlike lemurs and lorises, other strepsirrhines, tarsier they do not have a rhinarium, the moist nose that associated with olfactory sensitivity, and their brain is also more advanced, and their retinal structure and placentation also resemble anthropoids more than the Strepsirrhini. So the unique position, primitive in some ways and advanced in others, it makes Tarsier a living or a transitional fossil in primate evolution. Now, anthropological significance. The first, they act as evolutionary bridge between Strepsirrhini and anthropoid. Then they have advanced visual system despite nocturnality, which make them ideal subject for exploring evolution of primate vision and neural processing. And then island-specific evolution, island-specific speciation. It it is studied as a classic example to demonstrate how geography or geographical isolation promotes speciation. Now let's move on to suborder Anthropoid. Anthropoidy includes monkeys, apes, and humans, and they are defined by larger brains, enhanced vision, reduced olfactory reliance, complex social behavior, and extended पेरेंटल केयर. और जैसे जैसे हम एंथ्रोपॉइड्स में होमिनॉइड्स में इनमें आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे तो आपको बहुत सारे जो ट्रेड्स हैं तो वो आपको यू कैन कनेक्ट विद देम बिकॉज यू नो व्हाट यू हैव इन योरसेल्फ कि ये जो है हमारे ही रिलेटिव्स हैं. नाउ फर्स्ट सबस्पीशीज सिबॉइडी न्यू वर्ल्ड मंकी. So as of pronunciation, here Anthropoidy, Ciboidy, so these are the Latin pronunciation. अब कई इंग्लिश प्रोनाउंसिएशन में ये एंथ्रोपॉइडिया है, ये सिबॉइडिया है, तो दोनों ही ठीक है, बट आई यूजुअली स्टिक विद द लैटिन वन. नाउ सिबॉइडी, द न्यू वर्ल्ड monkeys, so they are primates of infraorder Ciboidae. They are known as new world monkeys. So they have evolved in geographical isolation from their old world counterparts. And they inhabit Central and South America. Geographical distribution found in tropical and subtropical forest of Central and South America. And ये आपके एग्जाम के लिए याद रखना है, जिस सिबॉइडी की बात करें, ये जो न्यू वर्ल्ड मंकीज हैं, they are exclusively situated in Central and South America. Then their range span from southern Mexico to northern Argentina, and some species like tamarins and squirrel monkey, they are restricted to small forest, whereas polar monkeys they found across vast stretches. And this geographical distribution it contribute to their adaptive radiation that they have evolved into various species from a common ancestor. Now the key family was Callitrichidae, marmosets, and tamarins. They are small-bodied primates that weigh less than 1 kg. They have their claw-like nails and twin births, which is unusual in primates. So ये एक unique characteristic है, याद रखना. Um, this this thing is pronounced as Callitrichidae. Then tamarins, they are notable for their polyandrous mating system. Polyandrous, poly means multiple, androus means male. Here, female mate with multiple males, and all those males contribute to infant care. Now, next infraorder CBD, which includes capuchins and squirrel monkeys. तो ये जो adaptive radiation की आप बात की यहाँ पे, because of their geographical distribution, and you can see various infraorder and they associated species. बहुत सारी species हैं New World monkeys की. So CBD, it includes capuchin and squirrel monkey, and capuchins are also known as organ grinder monkeys. They are highly intelligent for their tool use, problem solving, or even social deception. And then squirrel monkeys, they are gregarious. Gregarious means they live in a very large group, up to 500 individuals, that showcase complex social hierarchy and cooperative behavior. Next infraorder Attalidae, that includes howler, spider, and woolly monkeys. So athelids are large-bodied and known for their prehensile tail. They have massive tails which act like a fifth limb. Then polar monkeys, they have enlarged hyoid bones that allow them to produce long resonant calls that are heard over kilometers. So hyoid bone, it is a U-shaped bone in the upper neck, usually in athelids, in polar monkeys. And इस bone की वजह से they can produce long vocal calls. Such long calls, that's why they are known as polars, are used in territorial defense and social cohesion. फिर spider monkeys की बात करते हैं, they are the more agile and acrobatic primates because most of their life, most of their movement, they are seen navigating the upper canopy, usually in diverse acrobatic displays. And morphological and anatomical features. So uh, the traits that distinguish themselves from old world monkeys and apes. First, flat nose structure. That's why they are known as platinines. So platinine, which it means flat nose, it refers to broad outward facing nose. यहाँ पे आप एक जो key difference जो है वो याद रखना in the new world monkeys, that they have flat noses, but they have broad and outward facing nostrils, which is the characteristic of New World monkeys. And this nasal feature, then it distinguished themselves from the narrow nosed catarrhines, old world monkeys and apes. क्योंकि हम लोग भी जो हैं, human जो है वो भी catarrhines ही हैं. Then as of dental formula, their typical dental formula is 2-1-3-3. 2 incisors, 1 canine, 3 premolars, and 3 molars. And this is distinct from 2-1-2-3 dental formula of catarrhines. Now, prehensile tails. So some New World monkeys, especially those in Athelidae family, they have fully prehensile tail or massive tail, which is highly muscular, tactile, and this tail is so dexterous, so powerful that it can pick up small objects. That's why uh, when we talk about the Athelidae family here, that they have prehensile tail, it acts as a fifth limb because it can lift up small objects. Now, as of color vision, so in most species, color vision is polymorphic. Uh, Genetic polymorphism आपने पढ़ा होगा that there is an instance of having any particular trait, the frequency of which is more than 1% in any population, in any species. So और उससे जो कम होता है उसको म्यूटेशन बोलता है. If any trait is less prevalent than 1%, it is called mutation. So colorism is polymorphic, means it is it ये नहीं कह सकते कि it is common, but it is found in many people, maybe 2%, 10%, 15%. But not all individuals possess trichromatic vision. So दोनों चीजें एक बार देखते हैं. Polymorphic means it is present in multiple individuals. Then the color vision, which is trichromatic. Trichromatic means three color, so different frequencies हैं. RGB, red, green and blue. तो ये तीन कलर्स होते हैं. यूजुअली हम जो ह्यूमन है वो हम भी ट्राइक्रोमेटिक है, बट सारे इंडिविजुअल सारी स्पीशीज जो हैं वो ट्राइक्रोमेटिक नहीं है. डॉग्स डाइक्रोमेटिक होते हैं. Interestingly, some females they have fully trichromatic vision, while males in New World monkeys they usually exhibit dichromatic vision. So this is because this vision, color vision, it is linked to X trait, X chromosome. So that's why it is written this trait is linked to X chromosome linked opsin genes. In other words, if females have trichromatic vision and male have dichromatic vision, then it suggests that female, due to because they have an extra X and male don't, so this trichromatic color vision it is associated with that extra gene, extra X chromosome. So here the color vision among the New World monkeys, especially in females, it is linked to X chromosome linked opsin genes. Now, behavioral and social diversity. So they display a wide range of behavior, such as tamarins and marmosets. They live in small cooperative groups with communal parenting, whereas capuchins they live in multi-male, multi-female group and exhibit coalition building, hierarchical politics, and grooming rituals. As of true user intelligence, capuchins, they are considered highly intelligent in New World monkeys, and they have demonstrated remarkable intelligence in captivity. They can use stone to crack nuts, sticks to fish out insects, and even leaves as a cups to collect water. So, and then the communication. The howler monkeys, they have advanced vocal apparatus, the hyoid bone, the U bone, which help them make long distance call, which is helpful in territorial dispute and group coordination. And finally, vocalization, body posture, facial expression, they form a complex communication system in New World monkeys. Now, the anthropological significance. So, first, evolutionary parallelism, because New World monkeys they evolved independently and in parallel manner from Old World monkeys that provide a natural laboratory or natural case study for studying convergent evolution. Convergent evolution means similar traits evolved in similar environment without common ancestry. So here, New World monkeys and Old World monkeys, they evolved separately. So here, this you can say separate evolution in similar environment. This is known as convergent evolution. Then ecological adaptation. So they are specialized in um, arboreal lifestyle. Mm, that shows how foreign forest canopy life shape primate locomotion. Then the next significance is reproductive and social variability. So polyandry in tamarins, जो अभी देखा, social learning in capuchins, and large group dynamic in squirrel monkey. They are model for understanding evolution of human social and reproductive strategy. And finally, tool use and cognition. The capuchins bridge the gap between non-tool using primates and the great apes. So यहाँ पे जो capuchin है, they act as a great case study to learn about not only convergent evolution but how non-tool using primates and tool using apes are associated. Now proceed on to the next. Anthropoidea or Old World monkeys. So they are distributed across sub-Saharan Africa and Asia, and they have radiated into numerous ecological niches that include snow-covered mountains of Japan to arid savannas of East Africa. And in terms of behavioral morphology and ecological strategy, they also demonstrate most complex and versatile adaptations. As of geographical distribution, they are restricted to Eastern Hemisphere. In Africa, they are home to species like baboons, vervet monkeys, colobus monkeys, guenons. In Asia, that includes macaque, langurs, and snub-nosed monkeys that are found from Indian subcontinent to the forest of China and Indonesia. And some species like rhesus macaque, they're highly adaptable and thrive in urban environment and remote areas. जो हम लोग आसपास अपने जो monkey species देखते हैं, they are mostly macaques, the the brown in color. Now the representative species, first baboon, they are found in savanna and open woodlands of Africa. They exhibit high terrestriality and complex multi-male, multi-female social structure. Terrestriality means they dwell on ground, and they are known for their aggression, dominance hierarchy, and coalition building. Then macaque, they are the most widespread primates genus after humans, macaques, and they are found from Afghanistan to Japan and include species like rhesus macaques, Japanese macaque, and bonnet macaques of southern India. And they thrive in varied habitat, temperate, tropical, and even urban spaces, and display high social intelligence. Macaque, याद रखना, the most widespread primates after humans. And Colobus monkeys, they are arboreal and primarily folivorous, means leaf eating. They have specialized stomach with multiple chambers for digesting cellulose. So cellulose is the starch in plant material, especially in leaves and grass. तो हम लोग जो हैं ह्यूमन एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द कार्निवोर्स दे डू नॉट दे कैन नॉट डाइजेस्ट द सेल्यूलोज। फिर आपने जितने भी कैटल स्पीशीज, जितने भी अनगुलेट्स हैं, यू माइट हैव सीन देम कि पहले वो खा लेते हैं, देन दे सिट समवेयर, लाई समवेयर, और फिर उसके बाद दे स्टार्टेड ruminating मीन्स वो उसी खाने को वापस दोबारा से उसको डाइजेस्ट करने की कोशिश करता है, दोबारा से च्यू करने की कोशिश करते हैं। दिस rumination, it is because cattle they have chambered stomach, कि पहले जो प्लांट मटेरियल है या जो भी फीड है वो एक चैम्बर में जाता है। उसके बाद देन ये सेल्यूलोज जो है ये इजीली डाइजेस्ट नहीं हो सकता, तो उसके लिए उनको वापस उसको रिमिनेट करना पड़ता है, दोबारा च्यू करना पड़ता है। ठीक है। सेम जो कॉलबस मंकी है उनका भी स्टमक जो है स्पेशलाइज है with multiple chambers, so that's why they can digest cellulose. And colobus monkeys, they are also known for leaping locomotion and bright infant coloration, which promote alloparental care. Now, bright infant coloration, so it is a characteristic of many primate species where infant they are differently or brightly colored than their parents. तो ये होता है कि जो इन्फेंट्स जो है उनका कलर लाइट होता है, लाइट एंड ब्राइट। तो ऐसे में जो एलो पेरेंटल केयर का जो यहाँ पे डायमेंशन दिया है उसमें ये है दैट एलो पेरेंटिंग आप जानते हैं ना, इट इज द केयर गिवन बाय अदर एनीवन अदर देन पेरेंट्स, लाइक सिबलिंग हो गए, जो ओल्डर फैमिली मेंबर्स हो गए, या फिर जो नीबर्स हो गए, या समवन एल्स अदर देन पेरेंट्स, उसके द्वारा दी गई जो पेरेंटिंग है इट इज नोन एज एलो पेरेंटिंग। So this phenomena, bright infant coloration, where infants are lighter and brighter in color than their parents. So first, it is a marker, identification कि किस पेरेंट्स का है, और फिर उसके उसके साथ ही this coloration it helps other members to protect and care for that species. Now let's move on to langurs. So they are found across the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. Hanuman langur, they are deeply ingrained in Indian culture, वो हम जानते ही हैं. Then they display complex group dynamics, which include infant care by non-mothers. तो यहाँ पे जो non-mothers हैं, it is an example of alloparenting, and they also exhibit territorial behavior. Territorial behavior means that this territory is there, this territory has been marked by scent or by vocalization, and no other primate species or no other similar subspecies can enter without conflict. Now, the key morphological features. So, Cercopithecoideae, they are catarrhines. So, they have catarrhine nasal structure, which means they have downward facing nostril or narrow noses in short. Then, this feature is also shared with apes and humans, and it distinguishes themselves from platyrrhines or flat nose New World monkeys. And the dental formula, so it is 2 1 2 3, two incisors, one canine, two premolars, and three molars. And this formula it supports a flexible diet and omnivorous diet. And then in folivorous, like colobus monkey, here the molars they are adapted for sharing plant material. And the next characteristic is ischial callosities. So ischial callosities they are hardened hairless pads on buttocks. ये आपने देखा होगा बहुत सारे जो ओल्ड वर्ल्ड मंकीज हैं, तो उनके जो बट्स पे जो पैड है ना, यू यू माइट वंडर कि वो एक थिक पैड की तरह दिखते हैं। बिल्कुल उनके जो हेयर है, बॉडी कलर है, जो उनसे बिल्कुल अलग दिखते हैं। तो these are ischial callosities, and these hardened pads they allow them to sit comfortably on tree branches or rocky surfaces. And it is present in both sexes, both male and female, and it aid in maintaining posture during prolonged social interaction. As of dietary and locomotor adaptation, so they exhibit diverse dietary strategies. So omnivorous species such as macaques and baboons, They consume fruit, seeds, insects, and small animals. And then they are folivorous, such as colobus and langurs. They have enlarged stomach, enlarged and chambered stomach, and slow digestive system that allow them to process or digest fibrous cellulose. Then locomotor patterns. So terrestrial species like baboons who live on ground, they use quadrupedal walking, means walking on all four with a digit grade posture. Digit grade posture means sometimes they walk on their fingers or their toes. Then arboreal species like colobus monkeys, they exhibit leaping and climbing. Now, as of social structure, first matrilineal hierarchies. So many cercopithecoids, they are female bonded and females are ranked maternally. High-ranking females, they receive better grooming, food access, and reproductive success. So this part is typical of most of the cercopithecoids. Then coalition forming, particularly in male baboons, individuals form alliance to increase social standing or secure mating opportunities. And these coalitions are often strategic and situational. Strategic and situational means this coalition, this groupism, they are for a particular purpose. And once the purpose is served, these coalition, they are done away with. So this situational coalition building, it indicates complex cognition and long-term planning, and also it suggests how modern politics can be traced back to such strategic or situational bonding of male baboons. The next feature is alloparenting. So juvenile and subadult and individuals, especially infant to up to some years, they carry and care for infants that are not their own. And this behavior, it strengthens social bonds and considered a precursor to cooperative breeding system that is seen in humans. हम भी humans भी जो है वो they give a much more time to alloparenting, especially जो घर में aunt होती है, जो senior female members होती है, या जो neighbors होते हैं, जो especially जो relative babysitters होते हैं, तो all of them they are an example of alloparenting. फिर communication and rituals की बात करते हैं. So species like macaques, they exhibit facial expression, lip smacking, and vocalization for social coordination. तो ये gesture का देख सकते हैं. Where grooming, it also plays a central role in conflict resolution, alliance maintenance, and hierarchy affirmation. So in both communication and grooming, you can see how the large social groups of later hominoids, they started forming in cercopithecoids. Now, anthropological significance. So, their close genetic relationship with humans make them ideal for research and modeling. Then their social complexity, it reflects the origin of hierarchy, cooperation, and even proto-politics in human. जो baboons में अभी आपको बताया वो फिर hierarchy जो macaques के अंदर है and cooperation, alloparenting. So this social complexity, it is a precursor to what was seen in later human society. Then the locomotor and dietary diversity also provide comparative model for interpreting fossil primates. Now let's move on to Hominoidea. The Hominoidea superfamily consists of great apes, lesser apes, and humans, and they represent most evolutionary stage within the primate order. And as of geographical distribution, Africa is home to chimpanzees, bonobos, and gorillas. Then Southeast Asia, it hosts orangutans of Borneo and Sumatra, and as well as the agile gibbons. Then human, they are truly cosmopolitan species that have migrated and settled everywhere. Now the family groups in Hominoidea, first Hylobatidae, which means the lesser apes. So the distribution of lesser apes, first gibbons, they are native to tropical and subtropical forests of Southeast Asia that range from northeast India and southern China to uh, Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia to Borneo, Sumatra, and Java. As of locomotion, So gibbons, they have unparalleled method of movement known as brachiation, means swinging from one tree to another. So this suspensory locomotion, it is facilitated कि एक ट्री से जंप कर स्विंग करते हुए दूसरी ट्री तक जाना. It is not about leaping or climbing through. It is about swinging across the tree species. So this motion is supported by the exceptionally long arms and their ball and socket shoulder joint, which is also present in many ape species, including in us, which provide a wide range of motion. Ball and socket joint, आप समझ सकते हैं that your shoulder, it is joined with your torso, your upper body, with a ball. A ball is, you can imagine it as a large bearing. Bearing आप लोग जानते हैं, तो metal balls होती है in many vehicles. Okay, let's take another example. Let's assume your shoulder, it is joined to your torso via a ball, and this ball, it helps in your shoulder to undertake many range of motion. You can swing up, you can swing down, you can bring it down without moving your torso alongside. So ये एक चीज है that if uh, this shoulder, this if this hand, it was joined to your torso, if it was glued to your torso, आपकी अपर बॉडी से अगर शोल्डर जुड़ा हुआ ही होता, मतलब पूरी तरह से ग्लूड होता, चिपका हुआ होता, देन हर एक शोल्डर के मूवमेंट के लिए आपको अपनी पूरी बॉडी, पूरा टॉर्सो, पूरी अपर बॉडी जो है वो मूव करनी पड़ती. बट यहाँ पे अपर बॉडी को मूव किए बिना आप अपना जो शोल्डर है, यू कैन अंडरटेक मैनी मोशंस. वो आप जानते हैं कि किस तरह के मोशंस होते हैं. So this wide range of motion, it is supported by this ball and socket shoulder joint. And they have hook-like hands with elongated fingers for stronger grips, क्योंकि their brachiation, suspensory locomotion by swinging from one tree to another, it could not have been supported without having elongated fingers. Then they have short and reduced thumb that prevent interference during swinging, and they have light body weight, which enables effortless gliding between branches. So, unique feature, gibbon can travel at speed 56 kilometers per hour through the forest canopy, and they can span over 10 meters. Now, morphology and physical traits. First, they do not have any tail. Then, they have dense and woolly fur that varies in color from black to gray to golden brown. Then they have sharp canine teeth, and their dental formula 2123. They have highly flexible wrist and shoulder, which helps in swinging and precision climbing. And they have erect posture while walking bipedally on branches. So, despite the size, gibbons share many anatomical traits with humans, and that's why they are included in superfamily Hominoidea. As of social organization, gibbons, they are exceptional for their monogamous pair bonding. Monogamous means to pair with one individual only. They are not polygynous, polyandrous, or promiscuous. And typically, a gibbon group consists of a nuclear family. जैसे इंसानों में होता है. Adult male and adult female and their dependent offspring. This social structure is maintained first through territorial defense, that gibbon pairs, male and female, to protect their home range, which can cover up to 40 hectares, via vocal display. Then they engage in duet singing, which is the most remarkable behavior of gibbon, that the mated pair, they sing long, complex duets, melodic, rhythmic call that reinforce bond, establish territory, little rivals. As of parental investment, you know they are the monogamous pair, so they contribute equally to raise their offspring, which can last to 6 to 8 years. So such long-term pair bonds and low sexual dimorphism, Sexual dimorphism means the physical differences between both the sexes. मेल एंड फीमेल के अंदर फिजिकल डिफरेंसेस होते हैं. जैसे अगर आप बहुत सारे स्पीशीज में देखें, गोरिल्ला में देखें, तो मेल्स दे आर यूजुअली लार्ज, फीमेल दे आर स्मॉलर, कंपैरेटिवली स्मॉलर. फिर यही सेम चीज़ आप मैमल्स में देंगे, कार्निवोरस मैमल्स में. तो दे आर डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन लायन एंड लायनस. तो दिस थिंग इवन ह्यूमंस के अंदर भी ये चीज़ जो है ये प्रेजेंट है, सेक्सुअल डायमॉर्फिज्म. बट baboons, they do not have this one. So these characteristic long-term pair bonds and low sexual dimorphism, it contrasts with the more hierarchical and polygynous system that is seen in other primates. Now the communication, the gibbons are the most vocal of all primates. Their songs can be heard up to 2 kilometers through the forest, and these vocal calls, they serve first territorial advertisement or territorial protection, then mating display and pair bonding while duet singing, and then they deter predator by warning signals. As of cognitive and behavioral traits, so gibbons, they exhibit high level of problem solving ability, spatial awareness, and memory. And studies have shown that they also show signs of empathy and emotions. Finally, the conservation concern. So they are highly endangered and listed as critically endangered by IUCN because of deforestation for palm oil, logging and agriculture, illegal wildlife trade, and habitat fragmentation. Where anthropological significance की बात करते हैं, तो gibbons provide vital clues about evolution of monogamy and long-term pair bond in primates, especially in humans. Then they also act as precursor species to study the primate vocal communication, especially about the origin of human language, and then the locomotor evolution, especially from transition from arboreal to terrestrial life in humans. Now let's talk about hominidae. So the family Hominidae, it refers to as great apes, and they include chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas, orangutan, and finally humans. Now, as of evolutionary kinship, how close are we? Genetic research, especially after the Human Genome Project, it revealed that chimpanzees and bonobos, they share approximately 98.7 to 99% of their DNA with humans. And among the hominidae, chimpanzee and bonobos, they are most closely related to us. So their behavior, such as tool crafting, social cooperation, warfare, and even reconciliation through social bonding, they mirror the complexity found in human society. Now, the species reviews. First, gorillas. They are native to Africa. They are the largest living primates, and they're largely peaceful herbivores. Herbivores mean plant eating or vegetation eating, and their social life revolve around a dominant silverback male. तो गोरिल्ला में जो जो अल्फा मेल है, जो concept है, means the most powerful leader, it is usually a silverback male. This silverback male, it leads a cohesive group of harem and its offspring. Then orangutan, they are intelligent and solitary apes that inhabit Borneo and Sumatra, and they are highly arboreal and build sleeping nest each night. And they are known for problem-solving abilities and long juvenile dependency. Long juvenile dependency means infant, they are dependent on their parents for a long time, and they are the slowest reproducing mammals among all mammals. That's why they are particularly vulnerable to extinction. Then chimpanzees and bonobos, while chimpanzees are more hierarchical and display dominance-driven social structure. Hierarchical and dominant social structure means that the individual in the society, they usually display this hierarchy of powerful and less powerful. Whereas the bonobos, they are known for their matriarchal groups and their conflict resolution via सोशियो-सेक्सुअल behavior जो आगे देखते हैं. And finally, human, they have obligate bipedalism, complex symbolic communication, cumulative culture, and advanced cognitive abilities. Now let's have a look at morphological advancements. First, no tails, which is the defining feature of apes. Then they have flexible shoulder joint, their ball and socket shoulder joint जो भी आपको बताया, which allow for a 360-degree range of motion. Then they have larger brains uh, relative to body size. And in human, neocortex, the hypothalamus, all of them, they are highly developed, which support language, abstract thought, tool use, culture, reasoning, sophistication. Then prolonged development. So in apes and humans, the infants, they are dependent on their parent for a long time, especially long infancy followed by childhood and adolescence, which facilitate learning, bonding, and socialization. And then there is sexual dimorphism, which means the size and secondary sexual character, they often vary between males and females. Now, behavioral thing, first tool used in manufacture. So chimpanzees, they have been observed using sticks to fish for termites, leaves as sponges, and stones to crack necks. So this shows their intelligence. And orangutan, they use branches as a tool to extract insects or measure water depth. And these behavior, they demonstrate learned innovation, which is passed down through social learning, which again hint at the early roots of human culture or a kind of proto-culture. Because here, some key traits, key social things, they are transmitted down the generation. And the next thing, cultural transmission. So studies by researchers like famous Jane Goodall or Francis DeWalt, they have shown that chimpanzee troops have unique traditions such as grooming style, nest building technique, and hunting strategy. And these cultures, all of these social things, grooming style, nest building techniques, hunting strategy, they are cultural things. So it shows that these things, these attributes, they are passed from one generation to the next via imitation and social teaching, a hallmark of proto-culture. As of language and communication, while apes do not speak, but some, like Poco the gorilla, Kanzi the bonobo, they have been trained to use sign language and symbolic lexigram to communicate with him. And it shows their cognitive capacity and flexibility for symbolic thought, emotion, and even abstract concept. Now, as of locomotion and posture, so most remarkable development in the whole hominoid lineage is bipedalism, which is uniquely obligate, means permanently upright in humans. As of chimpanzees and gorillas, they are primarily quadrupedal, means they walk on their four limbs, using knuckle walking for terrestrial locomotion. Knuckle walking means to walk on knuckles of hand, but they can walk bipedally occasionally, especially while carrying stone, tools, or their infants. Then orangutan and gibbons, they are primarily arboreal, means they live on trees. But orangutan, they often engage into quadrumanous climbing, which means they use all their four limbs to grasp and climb. And gibbons का तो पता ही है, brachiation, to swing from one tree to another. And then human, the only primate, they have habitual upright posture and fully bipedal locomotion. And such full obligate bipedalism, it is supported by traits such as S-shaped spine. We have spine of S shape. उसकी वजह से जो jerks हैं, जो shocks हैं, they are evenly distributed across the body. Then we have shortened and broadened pelvis. Here, the pelvis, it is shortened but broad in shape, and that can withstand, that can absorb all the shocks. Then we have arched feet, which help in uh, flexible motions. And then foramen magnum, it is positioned centrally under the skull. Foramen magnum is the hole through which the spine is connected to the skull. So this foramen magnum, it has been placed anteriorly or in centrally. तो उसकी वजह से skull जो है वो spine पे अच्छी तरह से balance हो जाता है without tearing it from the middle. Now the social structure and emotional lives. So hominoids, they exhibit complex social system such as gorilla groups. They are led by a dominant silverback and who leads a harem-like structure. Harem-like means a group of females and their offspring. Then bonobos, they are known for their matriarchal society, and they use sexual behavior to mediate conflict and form bonds. Here, sexual behavior means they engage into sexual activity multiple times, especially to mediate conflict or reconciliation or resolution of enmity or um, enriching personal bond for enhancing mutual trust. So that's why bonobos, they're highly promiscuous. Then chimpanzees, they follow the hierarchical social structure that form male-dominated hierarchy where power is gained by alliances, grooming, and display of strength. And humans surpass all hominoids in cooperative breeding, moral reasoning, and symbolic culture, forming the foundation of civilization. As of anthropological significance, so the study of hominoids, it helps us to explore the origin of language, morality, empathy, protoculture, social hierarchy, and everything. And the fossil record of hominoids, especially early hominins like Australopithecus and Homo habilis, they reveal how modern human evolved through adaptive shifts in all such bodily features. Now, the comparative table at a glance. So, Prosimii, the traditional classification, Prosimii and Anthropoidea. So, here in brain size, Prosimii, they have small, Anthropoidea, they have large. Vision, Prosimii, they are mostly nocturnal, and Anthropoidea, they are primarily diurnal. Olfaction, it is strong, prominent in Prosimii, which is reduced in, while it is reduced in Anthropoidea. Uh, Prosimii, they have tail, but it is absent in apes. As of locomotion, Prosimii, they are arboreal, so they leap or climb across trees, whereas in Anthropoidea, this locomotion is varied from brachiation to bipedalism. As of social behavior, Prosimii, they are either usually solitary or live in small groups, whereas Anthropoidea, they have complex social structure. And as of evolutionary position, they are more primitive Prosimii, and the Anthropoidea, they are more derived. Finally, the conclusion. So traditionally, primate order is divided into two suborders: Prosimii, also known as primitive primates, and Anthropoidea, the advanced primates. Prosimii includes Lemuroidea, lemurs of Madagascar; Lorisoidea, lorises and galagos of Africa and Asia; and then Tarsioidea, tarsiers of Southeast Asia. And these primitive species, they show dental comb, nocturnal vision, and unique locomotion. In contrast, anthropoid, they consist of Zeboidae, the New World monkey like capuchin and older monkeys; Sarcopithecoides, the Old World monkeys such as baboon and macaques; and Hominoidea, that includes apes and humans. And the Anthropoidea, they are more advanced in terms of brain size, social structure, and locomotion. So this is it. और it was a quite a long lecture. अगर कुछ skip हो गया हो, something that you not make any sense, or something that you might want to ask, so just drop a comment. And finally, one thing that is important for me is a subscription. So I request you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you like the video, then you know what the deal is. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again.